right, cool. So we're here today with. Let me start over real quick. I probably always butcher your last name.
It's okay. Try to give it a shot.
Faricelli.
So close.
Okay.
If you were in anywhere but America, you'd be correct.
Okay. So what's
We
the
say
proper
Faricelli.
Okay.
That's just what we came on the boat.
Okay.
We
Okay.
took the O off, put
Okay.
an I, and
Okay.
got
Okay.
over
Cool.
here.
Perfect.
That's what happened.
So we're here today on the Viral Real Estate Podcast with Greg Faricelli. Greg, where are you from originally? Where's the name originate?
So I was born in Connecticut, but our ancestors are from Italy, and they came
Okay.
to America in the
Whereabouts?
1920s over in Naples, Italy. It's
Okay,
mostly-
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Came
a lot
over on the
of
boat.
Italian food and
Oh yeah.
I
A
love
lot
it.
of Italian
Can you
food.
cook?
I can.
My man, we should have done this at your house in
Dude.
your kitchen.
Oh, I would have done it in an apron and everything. Are you kidding
okay.
me?
Well,
Oh,
part two.
Part two.
All right.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So here with Greg Faricelli, the Viral Real Estate Podcast, mega producer, probably sitting around like 14 million already at this point in the year. But Greg, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah. So you're from Connecticut.
Right.
How'd you get to Nashville?
Well, I packed up all my stuff in a truck after I moved to Florida when I was
Okay.
9. So I moved to Florida
Okay, so
until I was
Connecticut.
30.
Okay, so Connecticut until you were 30.
Correct.
Okay.
No, Connecticut till I was 9.
And then Florida
Florida.
from 9 to 30.
Correct.
Got it.
And then I moved here.
Okay. What part of Florida?
Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Lee County.
Cool. Did you like it?
It was alright.
Yeah. And what brought you to Nashville?
So coming to Nashville, we had a really big crash in 2009, which everybody knows. But
Yeah.
if you do look at the stats, Cape Coral was one of the top 3 hit.
And you were selling real estate down there?
I was not.
Okay.
I was actually an electrician
Okay.
from 20 to 30.
Okay.
So in that time, we were in the boom. So, my boom was wiring houses.
Sure.
So we had crews. They had, crews of people. Mostly, there'd be a crew of 2 or 3, and they'd do a house a week. And I was like, I'm not paying anybody, so I did 2 houses a week by myself.
Mm.
So I was cranking out, single family homes. So, but I bought a house. I didn't use an agent because I didn't really know I needed one because I went directly to a builder.
Okay.
But, literally within, 8 to 12 months of my first year, everybody got laid off. The bottom fell out, and I was paying $2,000 a month, and I was out.
Mm.
So I stopped, purposely planned a short sale because I knew I was like, I'm not going to stick this out. So what I did was I just kept my money instead of paying my mortgage, and I used that money to pay out of my short sale.
Okay.
Because they charged me like, I forgot how much it was, 20 grand or 17 grand or whatever it was. And that would get you good with your loan. So I was like, okay. So I just did that. Banked a bunch of cash because I was making a lot of money over there, and I packed up my stuff and drove to a buddy's house that already lived out here.
Awesome. There you go. That's how a lot of people end up in Nashville. They just show up at everybody's house.
I came up for a week. I visited with him. He was a friend from Florida. And I was like, all right, this is cool. I think I'm going to do it. So literally within it was like 4 to 6 weeks, I didn't have to sell my house. I did the short sale, but I sold all my stuff within that time. And I had some contracts I had to finish out.
Yeah, and you just did.
I drove
I love it.
17 hours.
I love it. That's hilarious. Cool.
I drove, got here 17 hours later, and me and my buddy unpacked everything and moved me in the same day.
Wow.
So within 24 hours, I was fully moved, drove and moved. It was nuts.
That's intense. And
It was
nap.
nuts.
Yeah.
It was. I crashed out for a really long
Yeah,
time.
I bet.
On the floor.
I bet. So were you doing music in Florida? Music in
I was.
Nashville?
We
music tattoo.
Yeah, I've done that most of my life.
Okay.
The end result of that, the last 3 or 4 years, we played, played rock in the rock scene, and I got signed to an independent label, and that went really fast.
This is in Florida or Nashville?
This is in Florida.
Okay.
So that it wasn't a great experience. It's not something I wanted to do forever.
Sure.
And I got here, I did some stuff, but this is when I realized that this is not what I want to do.
But it's still fun, like as a hobby, like.
Kind
Not
of.
really.
You kind of get burns out of
Okay.
it. I mean, like, I mean, I've literally, when you play the same song hundreds,
Oh, okay.
it does, it's
Play
like,
Free Bird.
dude, I'm telling you, no, we're not going to do that here.
Play Wagon Wheel.
But, you know, like, it could be fun, and I could probably make it fun, but it became work, and
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy it anymore.
for sure. Yeah, I get it. Well, cool. So, you moved here. Were you an electrician when you got
No.
here? Or
No.
You got your real estate license right away?
No.
What'd you do? Or just
Not
nothing?
much.
Okay, cool.
Dude, I played in a few bands. I came with enough money that I knew that I was like, you know, I'm gonna take 6 months to like
Figure it out.
not really care. My rent was like, I was paying like $400 a month for everything. So I gave him like 6 months of rent right away when I moved. I'm like, didn't even care. So I was just exploring Nashville and like, you know, it was nothing like it was now. I just
Decompress a little bit. Figure
Yeah.
out what you're doing. Yeah.
figured out, worked in some restaurants, did some management in restaurants, you know, did some electrical side jobs.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't really have too much of a goal.
Sure.
You know, I didn't really think of getting into real estate until later, and I just kind of just like started. I worked really good restaurant jobs, and I saved my money, and I landed up paying off my truck, paying off my debt. So I'm like, this is probably a good spot right now. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, so I was like, all right, so what am I gonna do now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, I'm not gonna work at restaurants forever.
Yeah. Is that led you into real estate?
Well, then I was like, well, I'll just get my license, see what happens. I always kind of want to get into real estate, some type of investing. So I figured, well, if I get my license, at least I'll have access to everything and learn something.
Sure.
And I was working at Darfons at the time on Elm Hill Pike.
Darfons,
Dude.
Yeah.
Food's
Yeah.
awesome.
Like world-class underrated cheeseburgers.
Dude,
Their burgers
The
are
Colby
so
burger.
good. Oh my gosh.
dude, have you ever had their steaks?
I'm not.
Dude, I will go there almost every time before anybody. And so,
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. Dude, get the ribeye steak Oscar. Forget it.
Okay. Ribeye. Okay.
Forget
okay.
it. Anyway,
Okay.
and the reason why I'm saying all these nice things about them is because I came from when I was in school, they never cared, like, they let me set my schedule. I came in, I studied, I went to school. When I started real estate, they never put me on the schedule so I could work when I wanted. I'll tell you what, they really helped me, like, get over that
Get over the
transition
hump.
from, like, full-time work to having a business. Because
Sure.
for the first year, I was still, you know, serving at night and doing real estate during the day. So, of course, at night, I can't tell you how many times I got yelled at for being on my phone, but what are you going to do?
Sure,
You're hiding in the bathroom,
You
like,
gotta-
you're writing an offer, I don't even know how to write an
Fiduciary
offer, I'm on the phone like this, I'm like, how, what do you want your steak?
Yeah.
How do you want it cooked? I'm like,
Yeah,
hold on a
yeah,
second.
yeah.
Literally, like, I'd be like, hold on, put my phone down. It was nuts for, like, the first 6 months, but
Wow.
I ended up finally getting a couple deals where I was just like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, for sure. So first year you're slinging steak Oscars at Darfons and selling real estate.
Dude, yeah,
during
and
the day and on the weekends probably during the day.
And I kind of started in the wholesale game at that time too, because that's what they did, and I didn't know any different. You know, I'm like, I just thought real estate was real estate.
Yeah.
But then I realized, I was like, this is a different form of real estate. And when I talked to agents, nobody knew what the hell it was. I'm like, well, this could be something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because less people I figured know about it were obviously close. I mean, it seemed to make
Yeah,
sense.
it's a good thing. Yeah.
So it worked.
So that first year, how did that go with selling steak?
It was tough because unknowingly the brokerage I was with, you know, they were beginning at the time and they were still learning. I didn't really know that, and I kind of didn't know I was on a team, but I was on a team.
You don't know what you don't know when you're starting out in real
Dude.
estate.
And I'm thankful for it because I learned tons.
Yeah.
But it was tough. You know, the transactions were always uphill battles every time. Things that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
It was just like things I know. I'm like, why didn't you just knowing they did not know? It was tough.
Yeah.
So 6 months I had nothing. I mean, I was on the phones every day because they gave me leads and stuff. So I had people to call. They gave me their database to scrub. So it wasn't a big deal. They gave me expire. So like I was doing the work.
Yeah.
6 months of nothing, and then boom, 3 transactions. I was like, thank God, you know.
Okay.
So once I got through those 3,
all from nurturing.
they
people that you were
eventually
calling.
find the right deal. Whatever was happening, it was one was like a buyer, you know, whatever it was, you know. And eventually, the first year, I think I did like around 13 or 14 the first year.
Really 13, 14, the second half of the year.
It was all the
bottom
second.
heavy.
It was all the
Yeah.
second half of the year.
Yeah.
So it's finally like, okay. And then I was like, okay, now I know that there was a lot of things going on in the brokerage that I didn't like. between like the broker and some other people, and I was like, I probably should just. I was like, I'm the kind of person when I get a hunch on something, I act right away. So
Yeah.
I immediately was out.
Yeah.
I had contracts pending. I made sure that I had all my ducks in a row. I knew where I was going, and I went to Village right away.
Okay.
Like within
Right
within
away.
a week.
Yeah.
Within a week, I probably talked to all the brokers I wanted to, and decided to go to Village at that time.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of 2015 or 16,
Okay.
somewhere in there,
Gotcha.
something like that.
Okay, so 16, 7, 14, 15, whatever number you said. 14 to 16, 17
Something like that. Yeah.
transactions that
Sure.
first year. And then how did, because you just got your license 4 years ago, you said, right? So how
So-
how those next few years kind of.
So going into Village, I learned a ton. There's a lot of different ways. Meeting Bobby Noreen, the amazing
Mhm.
support I had there for the first couple of years, which I needed because, man, I got you do a lot of deals, you get a lot of things thrown at you, man.
Yeah.
You get complaints, and things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to say it, dude. I've been tracked multiple times.
Yeah.
People, it's just
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
the things that come up, and you have to know how to avoid those things, and you don't know how to avoid it until you're already done with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So luckily I had the support from Village, and I think, with her help, I think I finally did like maybe 20, I think it was 20 the next year, now that
Okay.
I'm thinking about it. I think it was a 20, and that was the first full year, I
Got
think
it.
I finally, like a 12-month period of stumbling around got through 20 transactions.
Got it.
That second year.
Getting some feet under you. Getting your feet under you. And then what's it been like the last few years since then?
So right around then, I got into coaching with Tom Ferry.
Okay.
And then, so pretty much I went from 20 to 30. I think it was like 20, it was 20, and I think I did 40 within the first like 18 months of Tom Ferry.
Okay.
So I think it kind of doubled. I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
if it doubled or not, but it was somewhere around there. And that, of course, helps a lot. And then last year, so there was a 40, and that was 2017.
Okay.
2018, last year I did 78, I want to say.
Okay.
I forget the volume. It was probably like, I don't know, 13 to 16 or somewhere. I forget.
Yeah.
Probably have to, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Maybe 13. I think I did 30. I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah.
It was around
Yeah.
78 transactions. That was wholesales and some wholesale, retail. I mean, probably 60% retail to 40% wholesale.
Got it.
And then
Got it.
weird stuff in between.
Got it. So 40 to 78, that's a huge jump.
It's a pretty big jump.
What would you attribute that to? I know you said you started Tom Ferry. Anything
Yeah, well, I'm
specific
trying to-
things?
I think there was, I want to say there was a 40 and then a 60 and then a 78. But either way, there was a
Yeah.
jump. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look.
Very healthy growth.
Yeah, I try to, yeah, so you asked me, like, whatever, what do you think it was? And sometimes, it's, you have to have it. People don't realize that when you get into a business, you have a seasoning period.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a rental has a seasoning period, like what works, So I would always go through my numbers quarterly and yearly and see like where did my leads come from,
Mm-hmm.
and not where do they come from, but what's the origination of that lead, Okay, so maybe I got a sign call who knew somebody who knew an investor, but that's not the origination. Your sign got the lead, the original lead.
Yeah.
So I really went back to see like where exactly do these leads come from. A lot of it came from people I know in social media, and only a few came from my paid leads. So I stopped all the paid stuff and focused on more labor intense
Mm-hmm.
and just getting creative at like getting out to people I know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what helped a lot. And then getting involved with investors and still bringing value to them and more
Yeah.
value, more deals. And a lot of it was, people doing 3, 4, 5 deals every year. If I have,
So investors like builders, whatever.
yeah,
doing 3 to 5
one person
deals.
will do. One person we did, was a builder. We did 25. Another we did I did 6. Another I did 3 or 4. So and then a lot of them, my
they want you
retail
to
stuff.
bring you the dirt. They want you to bring in the dirt, or they just give you deals regardless?
So it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It depends. And it depends. Like sometimes I don't want to have the listing, depending on who the investor is.
Mhm.
Sometimes I want to be bought out on the front end.
Okay.
It's I've got really selective on what investors I work with because I don't want the newbie. The newbie
Yeah, I get
investors
it.
are good,
I get
but
it.
I gotta want somebody on my level that could move on a deal fast. And people that that are like the same mindset.
Yeah.
You know, will I work and nurture with the younger guys? Absolutely. Like, I'm definitely there for the younger guys, but when it comes to like production and deals, like, I try to be the same people that can move at me. I mean, even like a retail buyer, I've got a guy in California right now I met once, you know, he gets it. He's like, he doesn't want to see anything. He wants a contract before. He's like, let's just look at it during inspection. I'm like, finally, somebody that gets it. You know, you don't necessarily have to set foot in every property if if it's moving fast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So just getting people in the same mindset had a lot to do with like, and saying no frees up better deals and opportunities. So a lot of that, I mean, firing people. You know, every year you're going to fire a couple, but a lot of people don't do that. But like those are the people that take
You
up
say
all
people,
the
you
time.
mean clients?
Clients,
Yeah,
correct.
for sure.
Like I just.
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate for that.
Dude, you know what? You've
Huge
got to.
advocate for
Or,
that.
you know, if they insist on working with you, I'll set those guidelines. And if they don't, if they do it, then cool. But if not, find you somebody that may.
We'll play ball the way you want to play ball.
Maybe that's less busy.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Okay, so Tom Ferry.
Tom Ferry's
huge jump, 60, 70 deals.
something like that. Yeah.
You said you just weren't getting the juice for your squeeze on the
paid
leads.
I wasn't. You know, they're two long-term plays for me, and I understand that is a strategy. It's just this our market doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because there's more motivated people
Yeah.
now.
I also think too it depends on where what that lead source was.
It is
We can't say all paid leads are the same.
correct. So the leads that I was getting are more like what I call like they're just kind of like looking. They're more of the 6 month later leads that come in instead of the leads that are like within the 30 days. Usually when they're really in that 30-day period, they usually have an agent by then, 30 to 60 days.
Yeah.
But to online leads, it's really hard to get to those people, so you got to really beat them down.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get a huge influx, the follow-up is you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
No one person can do
Mm-hmm.
call 20, 30, 40, 50 people to follow up a day.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to talk to maybe one or two people.
Yeah.
So to be able to do that, it's just
You gotta have a team and system.
you have to.
ISAs.
You've got to have whatever it is.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
You gotta have
something.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no like people like new agents are like, oh, I'm going to go Zillow leads. No, terrible idea. New agents should not buy anything for marketing.
Yeah.
Do the footwork if you're not willing to door knock.
You definitely have to learn.
You got to
do it.
do it. Yeah, you
You
can't.
gotta learn how to do it.
You got to get out there and do it. You know, if anything, I would tell a new agent to spend their money. I know I'm kind of off track, but
No, you're good. This is actually a good segue. What would you tell, like, if someone's like, hey, Greg, you did 78 deals last year, blah, blah, blah. I want to do what you did. What would that roadmap look like?
I would say get some type of coaching or education, hands down.
Okay.
Get a coach, get a mentor.
How much is Tom Ferry, by the way?
So, by the way, yeah, that's good. Yeah, so what do I pay? I pay a leads, and I pay about $1,100 a month, about $1,000 a month,
Okay.
something like that. And just by the referrals, I've easily paid my yearly
So
salary.
you do a lot of referrals to Tom Ferry.
Dude, I think I did. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think I did like 4 or 5 last year.
That's awesome.
And they're literally like, hey, can you help? Hey, I saw you're a Nashville agent. And it's like, done.
We have like a private like Facebook group.
Yeah, all that
Okay,
stuff.
nice.
All that stuff. So,
Nice.
so I mean, I easily paid for my.
That's huge.
So basically it's for free. But I would tell anybody, and that's what you need. You need to figure out, what you want to do in real estate. Not anybody that buys or sells, that's not an answer.
Yeah.
You know,
in
what are
real
you
estate,
good
There's
at?
so many different.
Figure out, and I tell people, find a neighborhood or areas that you actually like, that you love. Like, dude, I like Bordeaux Hills. Nobody loves it. I love it, man. I love those big mid-century models over by
Yeah.
Drake's Branch and stuff. So I love those. So I will farm those. I will call everybody.
Yeah.
Find like what you like, and when you really connect, you'll get it. Like for instance, like when you're going out as a wholesale looking for deals, your conversion rate is going to be a lot less. It's still going to be good, but when I go out and I'm actually looking for something that I want for myself, the conversion is a lot higher because I connect with them. Like, look, I just got a quad on Clark Pistol. I'm like, look, I'm about to close on this quad. I'm like, your 10plex that we talked about would be perfect for my next buy. It's like, if you really could find a way to really just like make it so personal,
Yeah.
the conversion becomes a lot higher.
Yeah.
But learning how to do that is
Sure.
finding your niche.
Yeah.
And finding something you actually like.
Yeah.
So finding these, buying leads is not going to get you there.
Yeah.
People are just nervous they want a deal, but look, I tell people work part-time for a little bit, maybe make this where you don't need the income right away. I tell people to save 3 to 6 months of bills in the bank, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So you could take, you can learn from the leads instead of like having to be so attached to every single lead to find a deal.
So you would tell them, get coaching through like your coaching with Tom Ferry, and through your, you did 78. You did 78 transactions last year. If you were to say, okay, you got some from Tom Ferry, some from social media. What type of things are you doing on social media? You said not paid ads.
So if I'm going to break down last year, I want to say there was about 33 or 34 of those were with Rhythm Homes, which is a kind of like, we've kind of built this together by now. We put marketing together and stuff. But anyway, so a big part of that was that lead source alone.
So little new construction.
Partly new construction, a few, I think we wholesaled, not very many deals, but a total of that. Maybe we flipped a couple, whatever.
Yeah.
There was that. And then social media was pretty big last year just by being present and posting consistently.
When you say posting consistently, do you mean just like posting stuff on your wall or posting stuff in groups?
Both.
50-50, you'd say?
Whatever, sure.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And if there's no groups in an area.
Great one.
Yeah.
Good opportunity.
Dude, I'm telling you, find a farm that doesn't have a Facebook.
Yeah.
Dude, Facebook farming, nobody knows how to do it. But dude, I'll tell you what, it is the easiest.
Yeah, it is gold. Free tip when there's a neighborhood that doesn't have a Facebook page.
Dude.
And you can ask the right qualifying questions even to join the group. People immediately see you as the guy in the neighborhood.
Yeah, especially if you can start it, because find something that maybe doesn't have an HOA. Like, I don't know, maybe pick 500 homes in Inglewood or whatever, or I don't know, find an area and then put little signs out there that say, hey, join us on Facebook, and then whatever the group name is.
Yeah.
And then the neighbors will start coming home where their entrances, put the signs in, and they'll start signing up, and they'll start going to the page, and then you can start. Don't go right into real estate. Like, what does the neighborhood need? Like, maybe there's a neighborhood association.
For sure. You have
find
to
stuff to do. Great community. I build landing pages specifically for neighborhoods, so I build one for that neighborhood or whatever. Then post them there, and then people can sign up. And then you can put listings in the area. You can, whatever. You just figure it out, but don't make it all about real estate.
Yeah.
And I'm really bad at bad at making it all about real estate because I don't really have the time.
Yeah.
But if you can find one really good farm and do it all the things, man, you'll crush it, especially online. You don't have. Sure. It's like door knocking.
Yeah.
But not having to get out of your house.
Digital door knocking.
You literally, and then you can go on the tax records, find all these people's names, and start finding them on social media. Start friend requesting out to the crew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Start with one street. Go to the next street.
Yeah. So you've had some success with that, it sounds like.
I love calling neighborhoods, dude.
Yeah.
I love calling neighborhoods, especially when I find, I'm like, dude, I just bought a lot. I'm like, dude. And I'll find all the investors. I want to know if they want any more properties. I want to find the investors. And it just gets excited. I'm like, all right, I want to call just everybody in the street.
You get locked
see
in.
What's up. It's like, hey,
yeah.
have you had any thoughts of selling? I'm like, I love that street. I just bought the other one up the street.
Yeah.
We're looking at buying. I had another buyer that, whatever it is.
Yeah. So it sounds like you got multiple sources where you're getting 10 to 20 deals.
Not that many. It's a few, but a lot of it is the digital, almost like the social media is almost like a farm.
Mm-hmm.
I have my Facebook friends, and I try to farm to them, but obviously we know algorithms, you don't get to everybody.
Do you do stuff offline for those friends as well?
What do you mean?
You send them mailers or anything like that?
So I don't do any direct mail.
Okay.
I do
or
zero.
Emails or.
So when I farm my social media, so what I do is I farm the groups and I'll farm my pages and I get people to sign up. When those people sign up, they get automatic everything.
Okay.
So they're hooked up.
Okay.
So it's getting them to sign up, or people so I'll post random stuff like, hey, who's looking for a renovation and whatever, and I'll get 50 people's email addresses. So guess what they get? They get on. They're stuck on all my stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I try to keep my Facebook friends around 49, 90. so I could actually reach out to these web leads that I'm not connected to.
Yeah.
So I have that little space, and then honestly, I go through and I delete people like every day. I don't care.
How do you choose the people to delete?
So I choose the people by, first of all, people that I probably haven't talked to in a long time, not from here.
Well, you just like wait to see them post something or something.
So sometimes I'll just go through my friends list, like.
So what I do is I go to birthdays.
Ooh.
I go to birthdays because, like, you know, it takes so long to scroll through alphabetically.
Whoa, it's horrible.
And then you're seeing the same ones every single time at the top, and then, you know, new posts. It's usually the same people posting, but you know, the chunk of that, you know, those 5,000 friends are people who are just kind of watching everyone else be on Facebook. And so I like using birthdays so you can see the people their profile's grayed out, they're not active anymore, or whatever, they're taking a space. Someone who's like, I have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
Someone who, like, we were friends in school, but weren't really friends, and we never have
That's
like
a big
engaged.
one. That's a big one.
You
High
never
school
engaged,
people.
Yeah,
dude.
you never engaged on social media, and so it's like, you know, I need to free that spot up for, you know, people that I can do business with.
And people that annoy me.
Yeah, well, that's a good one too.
I mean, I'm sorry,
you
but
see
like,
these, like, hot button issues, people posting crazy stuff.
It's
and
just
like,
some people just annoy me, and I figure like, you know, just
yeah.
what it is, what it is, you know.
Yeah.
It's my Facebook.
Yeah, for sure. You have yours.
And I literally, so I try to keep it at $49.90, and I always add my web leads in there. And then, you know, a lot of times they don't leave contact information, so it's wonderful that I get the Facebook message. Like, it's a forum, and they feel like they know you, so you don't really have to sell yourself. It's pretty cool. You know, you just have to really just get them to see it sometimes. Sometimes I don't always accept your request, so sometimes I don't always, but enough do.
So they're not giving you their contact information? Huh. So, wait, so you can't...
Not all of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them, because
so
it depends on how they sign up.
Okay. I got you. So some of them, you're not sending them to a landing page. They're just browsing, and then maybe they put in...
It's all the above.
Got it.
You know, sometimes I don't know how they come. Sometimes they're just organic. They're Google. They're certain types of landing pages. They could be in a group. It could be anything.
Sure.
You know, it could be whatever.
Got it.
So
Got
if it doesn't have a phone number, I can always find a phone number.
Yeah.
You always give Tracy's phone number.
Yeah.
But the key is finding out, because a lot of people, like, if I look up Johnny Grant, I might find 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever it is. So a lot of people have the same name, so it's finding actually who's that Johnny Grant. So I always look to see, I can always kind of see when they signed up, so I kind of figure out what I did that day. Okay, I posted in Hip Hermitage,
that's the thing.
and I'll just try to find that name in those specific groups.
So what types of things for people who are wanting to, you know, be more active on, you know, on Facebook and whatnot, posting in groups? What types of things are you posting in those groups?
So that's
to drive them to your website?
It's hard, and it's hard. Because especially when you do it a lot, sometimes like you do it a lot.
You gotta kind of circle through.
You do.
Like you got honestly, you need to have like a schedule.
You do, and we kind of have that, but it's hard for me to schedule because I want to focus on my listings.
Sure.
So sometimes I just focus on where those are at. I can't help that. But she's on a schedule to do seller landing pages in all the groups weekly. So there is some scheduling to it.
So let's say, for instance, you have a listing. What's the verbiage you're putting in there?
Just honestly, I try to keep it simple. Like, I make her pretty much. She has the same hashtags she uses every day. She usually just copies and pastes the remarks. That's it.
Okay.
Make
You're
it
putting
easy.
the address and everything in there?
No, it's not sometimes. Yeah, usually the address shows up, but I usually don't put something.
Yeah. Just put some stuff about the property.
Sure,
Just
whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and then so she'll put the landing page for those, and what you gotta remember though, you know, even though you're posting, you don't feel like you're getting engagements. People are still seeing it.
Yeah.
And there's people that have Facebook messaged me and called me just out of nowhere that never engage with me, but they've been watching.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens more than you think.
Like,
I've had people say, like, I've been stalking you for months.
Mm-hmm.
I just, you know, I've been wanting to sell my house. I want to make the right bet. I just don't want to say anything because everybody has an opinion. So, but people really will watch you, you know? Mm-hmm. So, adding value in those neighborhood pages, like, I'm going to start doing market reports a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
They're auto-generated, you know, stuff like that, just to show some value. It's really hard to show value in the neighborhood pages because they're so spammy.
Man, I think it's easier than people think. You know what I mean? I think that one thing, like, you love food, right? I mean, we're talking, you know, Italian, and I'm not saying you're like fat or anything. I just like we were talking about this steak. I'm like, I want to go eat some food with Greg,
hell
man.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that like people love food. I mean, this is just low hanging fruit. I mean, you could go. It's
Good
a
point.
restaurant owner. You can go chop it up with them while they start the restaurant. Eat their favorite dish with them. Talk. You know.
Yeah.
Post it in the group. People. That's
Absolutely.
valuable.
No, that's extremely valuable. That's taking what I'm doing to the next level. That's
Yeah.
what I eventually want to get into. But man, you have to love that.
Yeah.
You can't. It's just I've tried to do those things. It's just it could have worked for me. Yeah, I just
Sure.
don't love. I don't love going out and like. I just don't love it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what the hell to say, dude. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
yeah.
what. I love being isolated in the room on the phone.
Yeah.
Could that work for other people? Hell yeah. But you got to look at your personality type.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a DI. I'm direct. I'm not a nurturer. I'm not like, hey, I
Yeah.
love this. Tell me. That's not me. I'm like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is where you're gonna sell for most likely. This is how. Are you ready to go today or not?
Yeah.
That's what works with
For
me.
sure.
I can't. I'm not a nurturer. That's why I don't work with a lot of buyers. You know, I'm not gonna hold their hand either. They get it or they don't.
Yeah. I feel you.
You know, and you'd be surprised at the people that get it more that don't. You know.
No, I get it. Yeah, people like that. I mean, they want to feel like they're working with an expert who's confident and knows what they're doing.
Yeah, like
I'm just saying. I mean, like hobby time. You know what I mean? Hour a week. Like you're not selling. You're eating spaghetti and meatballs. You know what I mean?
you're the king of that, dude.
Yeah.
You're king of the hilarious stuff. But that just goes to show that, like, and I'm not good at this,
Yourself,
and I'm learning how to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I can be myself like this,
Yeah.
but to put it into words and convey my personality is really difficult.
Yeah.
You're good at that.
Yeah.
So people really have to, and it's a process. It's like you have to learn how to like really convey your personality. You know, because I'm not very serious. You know, I like to joke around. Like I put a post up yesterday.
No, I know.
I'm like, hold my beer. This is how, you know. So it's just you gotta like.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a balance of work, but at the end of the day, they're hiring you because they like you and they can hang out with you and you know your shit.
Yeah, for sure. But the question though is getting more people to be top of mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the thing. So
So
if you've got a good system in place, it's like how do we get more people into that system?
Yeah. Right. And it's manual labor. You know, you have to message people. You have to go through your Facebook people. The birthdays is a great idea. Stuff like that. Like I make sure that she wishes everybody happy birthday every day.
Mhm.
You know, because it helps with the algorithms too. You know, plus it gives me an option to see I'll see, oh, that's my client. I better say what's up.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever it is. You know, it could be a personal friend that I didn't even realize it was whatever it is.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so. You know, being yourself and just putting yourself out there, you know, and that's really it. You know, I mean, if I do a Facebook Live video, I used to be the king of it last year. This year I haven't been doing it just because I don't know why I haven't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I didn't really care what happened. Like, I didn't care what I looked like. If I made mistakes.
Yeah. Roll with it. And that, you know, that's such a good point because people will blink as like a year's gone by and they've had this idea that they've wanted to execute on and they didn't because they're overthinking the most minute things. I've had times where it's like, you know, I want to go live on Facebook because I need an edge up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I want to, my hairline's tore up right now. You know, like, I'm just joking, but like people, like that's just how we are. It's like, no one cares. You know, like,
Nobody
people don't
really
care.
cares.
They know what you look like.
They don't.
They know what you sound like. You know, so it's just like, just do it. Just do it.
Man, I mean, there's times where I'd be just dripping sweat. I've said the wrong address. But you know what?
Yeah.
Nobody really cares. You're still getting in front of people. And at the end of the day, they're like, man, he's doing a lot because I just see him posting all the time. Because that's the end of the day, that's what you want.
Well, you're not over. I mean, you can't get a lot done when you're over analyzing everything.
Right.
You're not a corporation where there's all these layers of people below you to be analysts and analyze.
No, and at the end of the day,
you've got to drive things forward.
And like really, I mean, all of that real estate stuff, like the social media and all that, that is just my vehicle to be able to invest that money. So at the end of the day, I view that as like kind of, it's not a job, but it's my income.
Mm-hmm.
Like sales is income. And the only reason why I say that is because if you stop selling, what happens? You have no income.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal is to take those sales that you make and invest it to where it becomes income, right?
Yeah.
So that's the transition into that is where a lot of people don't realize. It's like that. It's like, it's great that you want to do this and find these resources, do these systems, but like, it's never going to be forever. And like Facebook, you and I are probably pretty good. You're way more of an expert than I am, but you know as well as I do. It changes every day. So if you're not on it,
it changes all the time.
if you're not all over it,
you need to just hire. You need to hire someone.
Hire someone.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, even if you hire someone, like I'm still the mastermind behind it, so I really do have to think outside the box for this person. Nobody really knows you and your systems better than you, even if you have an amazing marketing person.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, it's like you're the one. Your ideas is what brings your business.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I'll do some really risky things, and I'll have my assistant do it, and I'll just see what happens.
What's the riskiest thing you've done? You feel like on social media?
Well, let's see. What is the riskiest thing I've done? Well,
Or a riskiest.
were you there on Thanksgiving? Did you see Thanksgiving?
I think I did. I think I remember seeing something hilarious. What?
Dude, it was so stupid. I was dating. The day. I had a couple drinks. I was cooking for everybody. I had my friends. Had a whole ton of people come over. And it was hot, dude. I was cooking.
Oh, you took your shirt off.
And I was like, it was so hot, dude.
Yeah.
I had the fans on me. And I just took a picture like, hey, can't wait for everybody to get here.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I do remember that.
And everybody, for some reason, went
Thought it
nuts.
was
I didn't think it was risky, but I guess it kind of was. But the response was, I can't believe people still
Yeah.
say that they saw it as
So
hilarious.
here's the thing. The thing that I like about that is that, people need not take themselves so seriously.
Dude.
I mean, real estate is about getting people to know you, like you, trust you, right? And then being an expert. And so when you're communicating just who you are, you're just like communicating life, like real life, like what's going on. Like, yo, this is funny. Like, that's funny. If you have the confidence to post a picture with your shirt off and it's funny, people like, you're going to get, it's sticky. You're sticking people's heads. So if it's funny, inspirational, like sad, like real works. And so and then if you can infuse real estate in that too, it's like, okay, I like this guy. And then you're kind of seared into their brain. And then you come in the back door of real estate, or sometimes, marry the two.
Or the real back end of that is having credibility and working hard behind that.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
You can be ridiculous all day long, but at the end of the day, people are going to see if you're actually working or not.
Yeah.
Like when they get me on the phone, it's
sure.
business.
Yeah, and that's an important point too, because like you can't, like you've got to be able to deliver. I mean, like real recognize real. Like if you get on the phone with someone, like I like this person, and it's like, I don't know actually after talking to him, like he doesn't really sound like he knows his stuff. So.
But you know what though? Here's the thing though, that it's okay to not know your stuff. You're never.
I mean, not be he doesn't sound like a professional.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Or
right.
Like,
you're never gonna.
Cares.
There's always gonna be a question or something that you've either never experienced something, but it's all how you handle it.
Yeah.
When your people are just like, I don't know. It's like, you know what? I don't know, but I do know this. But I can call this person and we'll find out and I'll let you know.
Sure.
That's a professional way to handle that.
For sure.
A lot of people don't convey that they. You don't always have to know everything.
Yeah.
You just have to be open to being able to figure it out.
For sure.
A lot of people, and that's the hard work. That a lot of people just don't. They just like, I don't know. And they just let it go.
Yeah.
How many contracts and agents that are just like let things go over little stupid things? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Rhythm Homes. Okay, so you're doing so that's where you're doing the wholesale. What I'm curious about, and I think a lot of people like to hear about, is the process of property acquisition. Like how are you going about how are you getting leads
For
that side?
For just that.
For the flips and the.
It's the only way to truly get things at a price that makes sense when you're not using wholesalers and you're not using agents and all that is directing to the sellers.
So how are you how are you getting in touch with them?
So, long story short, we put our target list together. We skip trace the list, and that gives us, phone numbers and email or whatever it is. And then we just farm it like what a normal farm. You're going to call them, you're going to text them, you're going to get email, whatever you normally would do. A lot of deals are through people I know.
Where are you getting your list?
We create them ourselves.
Okay.
So we'll just say, hey, we want.
So the very top, first step, you're going to create a list. Where do you go to do that?
wherever. So you go to your geographic information system, wherever
Okay.
your city is.
Okay.
Nashville's GIS, parcel viewer, you can do
Okay.
it through there.
You just draw a circle.
You can draw it, you could categorize it however you want, or most agents don't know how to go to the prospecting tab on CRS.
Yeah, and put in the different filters.
Dude.
Yeah.
So usually, if my unlicensed investor is doing the list, he'll use GIS. But when I do it, I use CRS just because I know how to use it better.
So you get the list, you start emailing, phone calls, text messages.
Phones and all, yeah, right away, phone and text, yeah.
Got it.
Right away.
And then you just respond.
And then we just respond, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and we try to, the key is making your list as targeted as possible.
So you can speak more directly in your with the verbiage.
That's it. And then your voicemail is going to be directed to it. All that stuff's going to
Yeah. The more niche,
Correct.
like the marketing.
Like, hey, I saw your 4-unit complex over in Nashville. I'm looking for ones exactly like that.
Yeah, that's one reason that a lot of people, and that's an example, but just marketing in general, while their marketing falls flat and it doesn't work, they're speaking to too broad of an audience.
Absolutely.
So there's a difference between, hey, we're looking for a quad in North Nashville. There's a difference between, hey, we're looking to buy properties in Middle Tennessee.
Absolutely.
So if someone gets that, I'm like, oh, quad, I got a quad in North Nashville.
Right. So you go after what they have, and then while you're talking to them, just be like, hey, just so you know, we renovate, we build. Do you have any land? Do you know how many times we get deals from not the property we're going after?
Like, by the way.
Like, I'll sometimes, you don't always know that they have other property. I always ask, what else you got?
Yeah.
So many times we buy, we just bought this. We were looking at a PUD in Old Hickory. It was like 40. It was a lot, but he happened to have 2 houses in East Nashville. We bought the 2 houses in East Nashville. But if we want to just ask, what else you got?
Yeah.
So you kind of really know how to ask the right questions.
I was talking to an investor one time, and social media as a drone video I just posted on my timeline of his neighborhood, and I was listing about the neighborhood, price points, like whatever, blah blah blah, and an investor, he reached out to me and said, hey, those houses are nice, and he's asking me questions like, can you give me one, or are there any coming soon or whatever. I was like, yes, actually, how many do you want? And so just by asking, hey, how many do you want, instead of just doing one deal, he was like it turns out, he had this fund, and he was trying to buy 60 houses. And so we can find 60 houses. So that, we didn't end up doing 60 together, but I think it ended up being 5 to 10 deals in a very condensed time frame. Mama's happy.
And they're easy. You know the guy, you know the deals. You don't have to worry about them closing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the key too, is finding those investors that you make your first call. Having your first call investors in a a contract business like wholesaling and stuff like that is key.
Yeah.
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 And even new agents, it's think about, you're talking about ROI. It's you can skip trace a list for $50-$100 on Fiverr.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's your call list.
Yeah.
People don't instead of buying online leads, just buy neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to sell a house.
What are you able to track conversion on that?
Like what?
On you're calling a neighborhood, what kind of?
So we track conversion. Well, really right now, since we're only started this system, 7 months ago.
Okay.
We're tracking everything.
Sure. Yeah.
So we keep track of contracts we've sent out that are accepted, that have closed, that have not been accepted, and we really have been keeping track of conversion from contract to close instead of lead to contract.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, your lead to contract and that type of business is quick.
Mm-hmm.
So your nurture time you don't nurture that as much as you do in somebody like a buyer, normal buyer, seller. They're usually motivated.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're making these calls, your conversions usually could be
for sure
very fast.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah. Well, this is good stuff, man. Appreciate you hopping on the podcast.
Sure.
Mr. Greg, not Faricelli, Greg Ferris.
That's it.
Thanks, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Wonderful.